Let's start now once again. The broad spectrum of dramatic comedies generally consists of the following types. As I told you before, now I'm going to explain you in details. The first is the romantic comedy, as developed by Shakespeare and some of his Elizabethan contemporaries. Is concerned with a love affair that involves a beautiful and idealized heroine, sometimes disguised as a male. The course of this love doesn't run smooth, but overcomes all sorts of difficulties to end in a happy reunion. Many of the boy meets girl plots of later writers are instances of romantic comedy. In the Anatomy of Criticism, Northrop Frye points out that some of Shakespeare's romantic comedies involve in a movement from the normal world of conflict and trouble into the green world, the forest of Arden, as in As You Like It, or the fairy haunted wood of A Midsummer's Night Dream, in which the problems and injustices of the ordinary world are magically dissolved, enemies reconciled, and true lovers united. Fry regards this phenomenon, together with other aspects of these comedies, such as their festive conclusion in the social ritual of a wedding, a feast, a dance, as evidence that comic plots reflect primitive myths and rituals celebrating the victory of spring over winter. Satiric comedy Satiric comedy attacks the disorder of society by making ridiculous the violators of its standards of morals or manners. In Volpone and the Alchemist by Shakespeare's contemporary Ben Jonson, the greed and ingenuity of one or more highly intelligent but rascally swindlers and the equally greed but stupid gullibility of their victims are made grotesquely ludicrous rather than lightly amusing. Both of these satiric comedies and unhappily for the rogues who are their protagonists, the comic effect is sustained. However, because these personages have been rendered in such a way as to repel rather than engage our sympathies. The comedy of manners was exemplified by Shakespeare's Love's Labour Lost and Much Ado About Nothing, and was brought to a high polish in Restoration comedy. This form deals with the relationships and intrigues of a gentleman and ladies living in a polished and sophisticated society, and relies for more comic effect in a greater part on the wit and sparkle of the dialogue, often in the form of repartee, a witty conversation, give and take, which constitutes a kind of verbal fencing match, and to a lesser degree on the ridiculous violations of social conventions and decorum by stupid characters such as would be wits, jealous husbands, and foppish dandies. Excellent examples are Congreve's The Way of the World and Wycherley's The Country Wife. Middle class reaction against the immortality of situation and the frequent indecency of the dialogue in the courtly Restoration comedy resulted in the sentimental comedy of the 18th century. Oliver Goldsmith in She Stoops to Conquer and his contemporary Richard Sheridan, The Rivals and A School for Scandal, revived the wit and gaiety but deleted the indecency of Restoration comedy. The comedy of manners lapsed in the early 19th century but was revived by many skillful practitioners from A.W. Pinero and Oscar Wilde, The Importance of Being Earnest in 1895, to George Bernard Shaw, Somerset Maugham, Noel Coward, and other writers of our own era. Next is farce, is a type of comedy designed to provoke the audience to a simple, hearty laughter, belly laugh I would say, in the parlance of the theatre. To do so, it commonly employs highly exaggerated or caricatured character types, put them into improbable and ludicrous situations, and makes free use of broad verbal humor and physical horseplay. Farce was component in the comic episodes in medieval miracle plays such as the Wakefield plays Noah and a second Shepherd's play. In the enduring English drama, farce is usually an episode in a more complex form of society. For example, the knockabout scenes in Shakespeare's The Taming of the Shrew and The Merry Wives of Windsor, Brendan Thomas' Charley's Aunt. However, an American play of 1892, which has often been revived, is a true farce throughout. The one-reelers as well as some of the full-length cinemas by such comedians as Charlie Chaplin, Buster Keaton, and W.C. Fields were excellent farce. Currently, farce is employed mainly in the scenes of musical reviews and is standard fare in television comedy. Thanks for today.